Wants to sit here and call the police on them for having a barbecue at the lake as if this is not normal.
And she's like, it's against the law. I'm going to go home and call the police. I'm like, you know what? Do what you want to do. I've been here 42-something years. I know where I can and cannot barbecue.
I was walking by and I saw her harassing him and stopped. He has done nothing. He's been sitting there chilling the entire time. He was really aggressive towards him.
It's nothing to do with their race.
It seems like a new Jim Crow going on because for some reason, every time I see it, black people are the ones targeted.
Yo, what's up, everybody? You know what it is. This is Ron C. and the place to be, Side Bus Social. You know, that's what we do here. We check out the events, we check out the activities of the world, explore them, discuss them, find out how it affects us, the average, everyday man, what's going on. So we have a very, very special guest and some great subjects to talk to her with about. Her name is Angel Shannon. She is a close, dear friend of mine, broadcast television specialist in radio, TV over the past 30, 40 years. It's just a great guest, and we're going to talk about some real key subjects. So we'll bring her on. Let's see where she is. Come on in, Miss Angel. Where you at? There you are. Hey, how you doing there, lovely?
Oh, I'm doing great this morning. How about you?
You know, hanging in there, sitting in the room, always pondering this crazy stuff going on in the world. So gotta let it.
Yeah.
So, it's crazy. Angel's actually, like I said, is a good friend of mine. We've actually worked together on several projects, and came to me, said, "Hey, I want to do a subject with you," and I was ecstatic. So it's excellent having her on here. Thank you so much. It's great.
Thank you for the invitation.
No problem, no problem. So I guess we'll just jump right into the main subject. This is actually a subject Angel brought to me. So I was happy to, definitely honor it, see what's going on. It's about the Karen situation, this Karen craze, if we dare call it that. So for those of that don't really know what that is, the term "she's a Karen" is pretty much talking about a usually Caucasian lady, seeing a minority doing a very small offense or maybe a non-offense type thing, such as there was a little girl that was selling water in front of her house. There was a guy that was taking photographs, and I think maybe he nudged a lady's dog or something like that, and she thought he was attacking. So they called the cops for these very small offenses. And it's just a craze is kind of taken over. From that. You know about that, right, Angel? And what are you thinking about that?
Definitely. Well, first of all, I want to apologize to all the Karens whose birth name is Karen. I know this is a tough time for them. I know.
Yeah. I understand, yeah.
But just like Becky's, remember the Becky thing?
Yeah, a little bit. What to remind me, I can't quite remember the whole story.
Oh, it was just like, it was used in the same way. Oh, Becky, she's a Becky, that sort of thing.
Oh,
it was just,
okay, gotcha. Okay, I see what you mean. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And Karen was actually my best friend in third grade, but things
Oh, yeah, that's two of my cousins, actually. That's two of my cousins named Karen. They're black, but still.
well, yeah. And like you said, still today, it's so much different. And Karen, when I think about it, Karen, I think, well, somebody who thinks that they've just got a lot of privilege and condescending.
Okay.
And why are you in my space? And who do you think you are? And as a matter of fact, I'm gonna get in your business because I can. You mentioned a couple of comments about, or examples rather. One of the ones that struck me was in an airport. And did you see that?
No, go ahead.
A black guy was in the first class line.
Okay.
And so a Karen came up and said, excuse me, I think you're in the wrong line.
Wow. Ain't that something?
Right? It's like,
wow, that's insane.
Who are you that you would think that and be willing to actually vocalize it? And most people, I think, just don't know what to do when a Karen is around. It's like, it's shocking. It's
absolutely. You don't know whether to go absolutely just crazy and go in after that person, or I was always told, you got to be obedient. Don't really go too crazy. You don't want to escalate it. But, as especially a brother myself who hasn't gone in that specific thing. I have not really been approached by a Karen per se. However, I have been in situations where people are making assumptions about me and making comments to even my actions. I was like, you don't even know what I'm gonna do, but you're just over assuming the way I look, and they make a specific comment, and I can't help realistically wanting to have almost an aggressive stance, myself. I wasn't raised in the Hamptons or these big posh, English tea finger loving places or whatnot. I was grown up in New York, so that's crazy of me. But it's as much as I've been through it, it's hard to believe that it's even worse. Because to me, that's even worse. To even call it like the cops on people, I mean, that's really crazy.
Well, I think it first jumped into our consciousness big time over the lady in Central Park that called the cops, and over a black man who was just there, doing his thing. And she's like, get away from me, get away from me. And I don't know, I'm sure most of us have seen that video, but she called the cops, she drug her dog around, practically choked the dog. She was just absolutely, from my perspective, a disgusting human being who had nothing better.
And she was just triggered.
I'm here trying to do my job, me and my kids. Do you see this lady standing here behind my car, refusing to leave? I had to call the police to get her to leave. All this stuff going on out here, protesting and everything, and this is what this woman is doing, refusing to get from behind my car. I want you from behind my vehicle. You are holding me here.
The child video.
I don't have a video of your child.
You do. I can see it when you're Facebook living it. I can see it.
Now, to play a little bit of devil's advocate here, I don't know, Matt, I shouldn't be saying this. I'm probably going to get a couple comments on here. Now, do you think there is never a justification for that? I mean, do you think it's always just racial, or is there any kind of substantial means to actually say, I'm going to call, the cops on this? Because I'm from the generation, I don't know if this is really, say, gone now, but I guess the craze when I was younger was the brother coming by the white woman, she clutches her purse and thinks she's going to rob him. This is almost a modern day version of that, in so many words. But let's be honest, that was 50-50. Sometimes it was, it's true, and sometimes it was false, but it's not always the case. Do you think there's any kind of means, or should they be, held accountable towards their first degree, or you think it's something totally different?
Well, if I'm understanding your question correctly, I think that is there ever a good time to be a Karen or to be super vigilant about what's going on around you?
A reasonable time, maybe.
Yeah, it's about the approach, I think. If you're concerned about your neighborhood, if you're concerned, that something is going to happen that's lower vibration, you don't want to, that sort of thing. Well, I can understand you being alert, but to actually get in somebody's face and tell them, you don't belong here, go back to your country, blah, 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 stop. I was looking at a lady who was in a drugstore. She got mad because two Hispanic women were speaking Hispanic. They were speaking.
Wow, that's crazy. So this crazy. I do have to get a little bit more information about it. So this is blatant. This is not just, being cautious. This is somebody realistically having blatant racist ties or racist notion towards the scenario.
Yeah. And it isn't only about racism. You're right. You mentioned that earlier, but I'm a big TMZ fan. I admit it, not that I get my news there, but they do get a lot of clips. And I have seen some absolutely vile Karen, Karen just moments where it's like you're in the wrong section, you're in the wrong restaurant. It's like asking how would you feel if you were sitting in a restaurant and some woman came up and said, shouldn't you be back in the kitchen? Why aren't you serving? Or you're sitting down on the job. It's that sort of
wow.
And the gall. That's the thing. The gall of it all is just amazing.
That's crazy. I think my mom, I remember my mother, she had said somebody came to her and just walked up to her, because my mom was a Muslim lady, and so she wears the headscarf and all those things, and
Sure.
The lady really came up to her just straight to her face while she was actually doing a I believe it was a food for the homeless kind of charity, and she was in the line serving the food, and she came to her and said, "Hey, how much would you charge me to clean my house?" kind of thing. And I was like, she really said that? She's like, "Yeah, I'll charge you to clean my house." Yeah, and all that. Just, wow, I just automatically assume because of hair I look like this, I clean houses just like that. I need it like that. So that's insane to me. But wow, that's a new thing to me. Like I've seen this, and it's been something I noticed, but I've never noticed to that depth. I really thought it was the ones I've seen are people actually taking offenses. Like they are actually minor offenses per se. Like the little girl I mentioned, she was literally selling water in the front of her apartment complex, which I guess technically you can't do, but I mean, come on.
Little girl, man.
Right now. You know, you're not only going to stop her, she has it for a cause. I mean, she's just trying to make a little bit of money. She's not hurting anybody. She's not, tripping or throwing the bottles at people's heads. You know what I mean? She's just, if you don't want to buy just a little business for a little girl, you should be enticing that, in my opinion. But she not only frowned upon that, the lady actually called the cops on the girl, and today she's not allowed to sell water here and all those things. So that's
the thing. That's the move, right? I'm going to call the cops. So now what's happening is that anyone who feels this is good, anyone who feels like they're in a Karen situation with someone else, they will always grab your phone, video, and then they get mad because now they got to be held accountable for what they're saying. So they take out their phone. Fine, I'll video to you too, and it's like it's crazy. Ron. It's just it's the strangest thing. And I whenever I see it, I it's embarrassing. I'm ashamed of these people who think that they are superior, that are so condescending, that it's kind of like, get back in your own lane. Nobody wants to do your stuff. This is not time in our history to have something like that happen, which, like you said, I mean, that's something that you think of years ago. It's like, my mama told me about this or whatever, but today, like, be kind, be compassionate. Who put you in charge of the universe? Kind of like, Karen.
Oh my God. She legally cannot put a minor on, just like I can't record you guys. Just like you don't have the right to block me in, ma'am. And the security's just standing here. So, why are you recording my plate? I'm trying to see my phone. The only thing you need to do is get from behind my vehicle, ma'am. I was pushing the cart up to the door and you started recording. You cannot legally record a minor. No, she was actually standing there before then. We were in the car because I actually in the middle of, the police are here now. Officer, let me speak first.
Got you. Now, but here, let me ask you this though, Angel. So, as a Caucasian lady, and don't get me wrong, Caucasian lady, that's wonderful. I love you. You know what I'm saying? That's not anything. I'm saying, as a Caucasian lady, what would you tell or advise, an African American to say? Because I mean, it's crazy to believe that for us, I'll take it just from my perspective. It's hearing something like that. If I ever was in that scenario, I would get really offended to the degree how we look at it is as, why do we have to verify ourselves to you? Now I have to explain myself. The one that comes to mind right now is, I don't know if you saw this one, the girl that got out of the Uber and she left her phone in the Uber, but she didn't realize she left it until she got into the hotel lobby. And she just happened to look over when she said, "Oh, where's my phone?" Looked over, there was a brother that had the exact same phone she did.
14 years
I'm talking
old.
about she went in on him. Like she was almost trying to attack him. If he wasn't a big guy, she probably would have swung on him. But she ran, she got security, and she said, "Hey, help me out." And I'm talking about, she was going really crazy. She was like, "You're not going in my phone." And basically, it was a younger guy, and his dad said, "Look, I'm not giving you anything." Now, the easier thing would have been, "Hey, here's the phone. This is my phone. You see, it's my phone." But it's just the principle of you're just coming and attacking me for something that I have, assuming, and just condemning me out automatically without any kind of real proof. And to make it worse, the hotel staff backed her, You know, they were like, well, let me just see your phone, all that. And he was just, no, I'm not showing you my phone. This is my phone. This is not her phone, you know?
Yeah.
And for me, that would be something I would say I would do. You know, it's just the fact I could just show it to you and make it simple. But who are you? I don't know who you are. You're not an authority figure. You're not the police. You're not the FBI. You're just going to accuse me just randomly, just like that. So
Exactly.
so my question, I guess, is what would you really try to advise the best way to handle it? You know?
Wow. Well, the other thing is that the phone wound up being found in the hotel.
Correct.
So,
Yep.
so it was all just her paranoia. And, you know, this woman was on with Gail King and actually shushed Gail King, you know, to talk.
Really?
Oh, yeah. She was like, enough. She put her hand up, enough. I mean, you know, she just has no respect. So here's, well, obviously. So here's the thing. You cannot, unfortunately, you cannot change a Karen's mind. Once they go off, it's like a trigger. You've seen it. And they are convinced that they are right.
Wow.
So it's not like you can reason with them. I think it's a good idea to video if you feel like you're being like you might be in danger or something like that. But you know, don't tell them to calm down because that escalates them. It puts you in a really, the only thing you can really do is walk away. And that makes you feel like, you know, I can't stand up for myself. Well, you know,
that's exactly how it feels.
Yeah, you need to be able to stand up for yourself. And it's okay for you to say, you know, lady, I don't know you, please, you know, I don't know what you're talking about, that sort of thing. But if you return vengeance with vengeance, it's just going to escalate. You know that.
True.
And so we just have to be calm in the face of adversity, just like they say that, you know, they don't. I'm not even sure that Karens really realize how awful they are.
Yeah, true. And it's crazy to be honest with you, because it's perfect advice, and in a rational world, what you're saying makes too much sense. But at least I'm not going to say this, you know, just section and categorize it to brothers. It's just what we know, but it's the equivalent of pretty much getting slapped in the face. You know what I mean? Even though you're physically not doing that, to really believe that you can do something like that, yet you're not telling everybody. Well, we're going to feel okay if you're going to everybody, maybe in the group. Hey, I want everybody to take out their phones or whatever like that, going back to that hotel example and something like that. But when you specifically only make sure you're talking to me and you are, like you said, convinced, there is no deterring you from what you have believed to have happened to your property. Realistically, that means a slap in the face. You're just coming directly to me. You know what I mean? We can't take it any other way, you know, other than that. And I'm like, you have no bias, you have no reasoning, you have absolutely no proof. No, I'm not going to show you my phone. I'm going to keep walking. And honestly, and she got to the point where she, in my personal opinion, even though she didn't go out full physical, she really did get physical. I'm talking, she was wild. She
jumped him.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? Like this, when he was trying to leave, he's like, no, I'm leaving. And she like tried to get in his face and try to go. And so even though she didn't swing on him, to me, that's aggressive action, hands down, you know, towards, you know, a unsubstantiated means.
Yeah. Well, the thing about Karens is that they, you know, the best videos I've seen are when whoever is the subject of her wrath has a bit of a sense of humor. And I know that's hard in the middle of it, but it's
makes
kind
sense.
of, what's she talking about? What are you talking about, girl? What is up with you? You know, if you handle it with a sense of humor and realize this person is not, I'm sorry, but they're just not mentally okay.
I guess you could say that. I guess I'm mentally okay.
I'm so sorry, you know, but you know, when you watch them and what they're like out of control. And so having a sense of humor and back away, have a sense of humor and just go, you know, it's just like, like I said, you can't change their mind. And it's pretty funny. It's pretty funny to see a Karen who's treated with like you don't matter. It's okay, you know. You want to come after me? Okay. You know, I watched one yesterday. she was just sitting on these people's car.
Okay.
Why? Because she was saving the parking spot next to them so that so that this family that was driving around trying to find a parking spot couldn't park next to her car.
Wow.
You know, it's like it gets pretty bad. So, you know, when you see stuff like that, that's funny. What the heck are you doing, girl? Get out of here.
That's insane. That's just too much for me. Wow. That's
time
riling me up right now.
Most of the time, I think that it's the Karens that need to have the police called on them.
Yeah.
You know,
Seriously. Yeah.
they're out of line. So that's
too
my
much.
that's my Karen take. I mean,
Got you. Yeah. Well, thanks so much for that subject. Good, great subject. So I'm gonna watch a little bit more. Maybe I should, because I really thought this was just some kind of hashtag for a little bit. I didn't know it was still. And honestly, I really didn't know it was that racial. So yeah, I mean, Karen, hey, y'all need to stop. Come on, be civil.
Karen need to stop.
You wouldn't do that to a white guy, white guy the same way. You shouldn't do it to a brother. You know, that's all we can say about that.
I'm in. That's true.